bringing you the news and information you need from the people making a difference. This is Comcast Newsmakers.
Often talk autism on Comcast Newsmakers, and of course the frightening numbers. We're in all of that. Now, what to do about autism? Many options out there. Hello everyone, I'm Joe Basikia, and this is Comcast Newsmakers. We're honored to have with us Brett DiNovi, a behavioral consultant. Exactly what is the exact title that we'd call you in the proper way?
Behavioral consultant or behavior analyst. Yeah.
Applied behavioral analysis. That's a term out there also known as ABA. Essentially changing the environment for those involved with autism. Do you think that that can have an impact?
Definitely. There are studies going back to the 60s, 300, 400 empirical studies in the field of applied behavior analysis that demonstrate efficacy for kids with autism and with adults with autism.
Now, I can see maybe some other folks may say, well, wait a minute, that's all fine and dandy, but what about the actual patient? How do we get in there and help the patient? Is this actually circumventing the issue? What do you say?
You know, you're primarily looking at the environment. I see what you mean by circumventing. When you're looking at implementing applied behavior analysis interventions, you're not looking at trying to go into the psyche or the psychology of the individual. You're really looking at trying to change the environment to best produce desirable results for the individual. So, you know, whether it's using positive reinforcement strategies or setting up contingencies in the environment to produce the desirable results, whether it's increasing positive behaviors like communication or decreasing problem behaviors. You're really not trying to look into the psychology or the medical aspect of things.
What a difficult topic autism can be, and parents involved in it, they know it all too well, and the rest of the community, the rest of the nation needs to be part of it, especially here in New Jersey. We could talk about why it happens, what to do about it in the future, where we throw monies to make sure we're going to be properly doing this, prevent it in the past. But you're saying, let's see how we can deal with those with autism right now. All about dignity. Let's make sure we never lose the sense of dignity. Do you feel that ABA actually is a good option for parents?
Definitely. I think historically there have been some critics that might suggest that ABA or applied behavior analysis strategies can kind of not produce intrinsic motivation. Is kind of a word that you often hear, intrinsic motivation for individuals with autism. However, it's usually kind of a misconception where they feel that often the field of applied behavior analysis is using contrived or artificial rewards to produce desirable results. Often you'll hear a teacher or a parent may say, well, why should I reward that student for doing something they should be doing anyway? And I think that's often because there's a misunderstanding of the principles. Really, the long-term goal of applied behavior analysis is to try to systematically fade away those artificial rewards like tokens, you know, different artificial rewards like robust praise, things like that. And in the long run, you want the student to engage in behaviors that contact the natural rewards, like making friends, you know, like going into the community and functioning appropriately, getting a job. So as long as these artificial rewards are systematically, gradually faded out, an appropriate ABA program is going to have that student contacting the natural rewards without those artificial things.
The key thing you mentioned there, of course, is program. We all want that magic bullet, that magic drug, that magic anything that's going to change things. Even ABA, I would imagine, it's going to involve some patience. Any challenges that really jump out at you that, you know, but worthwhile in the end?
Yeah, I think one of them is actually, we come across this a lot when we implement interventions, and it's one of the things we often will warn a teacher or a clinician or a parent is that there's often something that's called the extinction burst. Often you'll hear with an ABA strategy, say you're trying to decrease a problem behavior like aggression in a student with autism. Initially, the behavior gets a little bit worse before it gets better. So that's often a small side effect that you'll see of ABA. In the long run, you're going to see, because what happens is there could be a history of years and years of that behavior being shaped with the inappropriate consequence. And in the long run, if all of a sudden you discontinue some sort of consequence that used to reward the behavior gets a little bit worse before it gets better. So that's a challenge that we often face.
Hey, already the time is done, but the bottom line is you're saying, hey, there's lots of options out there, at least options we should all look at, especially when we deal with this issue of autism. Thank you for being with us and on the front line working on it. Brett DiNovi, behavior consultant.
Thanks.
I'm Joe Basikia. This has been Comcast Newsmakers, seen exclusively right here on Comcast Cable. Thank you for watching.